you think about, just how much of a big issue this is right now. If you hear about, children, for example, in Tembisa, as we heard earlier on this week, that they bought acha from one of the learners, and it's believed that, that acha possibly may have led to some of them not feeling well afterwards. And it speaks also to the issue of when you're selling at school. Even the one learner who came and sold chocolates, to the fellow learners there as well. So what becomes some of the regulations there? You hear from the MEC in Gauteng, who says that the schools know exactly what needs to happen in terms of the rules, they know the policies, and these are issues that must be dealt with. But of course, you add another layer as you listen to Mthokozisi about the establishments and how they are handling the issue of food safety, because the storing of food, the packaging of food, the preparation, even in the process of repackaging, that in and itself, it must be done by somebody who actually understands the regulations. And it also speaks to yet another conversation around the bylaws, around the issues of ensuring that you're checking, you're inspecting some of these particular, shops in order to educate as well, because you listen to quite a number of those who will be talking. They'll tell you they simply probably did not know about this or knew about that. So it's an important, layer to the conversation to also have, to say that just how much of awareness is out there when it comes to the issue of food safety. So certainly this is a huge focus for us here on the channel today, and we will then continue to bring you installments of this particular story. And we're then, of course, at some point going to speak to the Human Rights Commission just to get a sense from them. They conducted some data, collection in order for us to be able to then get a sense of what have they collected. What is the data telling them? So we'll take you, of course, in fact, to the Human Rights Commission. I understand right now we do have Sandra, who is standing by from the Human Rights Commission. The Commissioner of the Human Rights Commission, Sandra Makoasha, who is going to be speaking to us about this issue. Thank you so much for your time this afternoon, Commissioner. Let's start with your reaction to the latest suspected food poisoning cases.
The South African Human Rights Commission is saddened by the recent cases that we have seen, and we're overwhelmed by them. We firstly would like to say condolences to the families, as well as also to the families who've lost their loved ones, but also the families that have children that are recovering in hospitals.
And when it comes to a statement I was reading from the Commission just about 2 days ago, in fact 3 days ago, it says that there was an independent data gathering exercise that had taken place. Has that happened, and what did you find?
It has happened. It happened after the outbreaks from various provinces that were affected, the Eastern Cape, Limpopo, Mpumalanga, as well as Gauteng. And we found various issues regarding around the poisoned food. And as a result of that, that's when we decided to then have a meeting with the stakeholders and request that meeting. And we've had that meeting today with the National Consumer Commission.
And what did they say?
We did some of this was stated that there's still ongoing investigations from their side, and because the investigations are still ongoing, they're unable to fully disclose some of the outcomes. They also advise that we also have a meeting with the Minister of Justice, as well as the National Joint Committee that is dealing with these issues.
All right. And Sandra, of course, as you say, that these are some of the issues that are ongoing in terms of investigations. I suppose then it'll be best to catch up with you even next week to see just if you're getting any feedback in order to know what you're dealing with here.
Definitely.
Right.
Please, we are taking those steps. We are having meetings, and we want to deliberate and advise the members of the community and South Africa what steps have been taken by the relevant stakeholders.
All right, Sandra, thank you so much for that update this afternoon. Appreciate it. We'll catch up with you next week in order to see if these entities that you're having conversations with are able to provide you with the much needed answers, particularly when you think about accountability as to what needs to happen now. Because if you see from the Department of Health, as we spoke to the Health Minister earlier on this week, he was telling us about this chemical agent that they are now investigating. So as these investigations are continuing, we are, of course, going to be keeping you front and center abreast of these developments.